Hello, dear viewers. I am a global nationalist. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the world. Today is the second Saturday of the month, and so I will be talking about nationalism in India. Today I will be talking about social media and its impact on politics in India. Now, I want to talk about this because of various reasons. The primary inspiration for this video was Karim Minati's video on cancel culture that he released this week. I really enjoyed that video and found it to be a very good way of explaining cancel culture online. And it also got me thinking about the wider social media in India, the political sphere of it, and the various influencers and political parties, how they use it. I want to talk about that. Now, before we start, I want to talk about what social media is, like how it began in India, politically speaking. For that, we have to actually go outside of India to the US when in 2008, Barack Obama used for the 2008 presidential election in 2007, Barack Obama, in his campaign, used Twitter and Facebook extensively to spread his political beliefs and ideology to the people of America. And this is one of the reasons why he competed better than his opponent, John McCain, and won the election. Later in 2012, uh, he again used social media better than Mitt Romney and won again. Of course, that's not the only reason, but by 2012, social media was being used throughout America's political parties, both Republican and Democrats used it. And by then, it had spread throughout the rest of the world. It was used in the Arab Spring, in revolutions in various countries, and has had a very strong impact on the political life of every country that has social media. India has had social media since pretty much since it began, was one of the first adopters of it, and probably to it social media today, as it is politically speaking, would not be what it is if it wasn't for the BJP and Narendra Modi in particular. Because during the 2014 election, he used social media very extensively, and he had the second most liked Facebook page. He had one of the highest followed Twitter handles and was simply much better than the other opposition parties at using social media, including Rahul Gandhi and other politicians. This helped him reach out to the masses of people and bypass the mainstream media, which was at that time largely biased against the BJP and subtly or overtly supportive of the Congress party. And back then, also, most social media was anti-BJP, and some of it was pro-op, but mainly it was anti-BJP. Very few, actually, I remember at that time were pro-Congress. Some were, but very few. Congress was not very popular in the beginning of the 2010s because of the Anna Hazare anti-corruption movement, which was again conducted largely on social media and spread through there. Now, since the 2014 elections, various political parties in India, including the Congress, have begun investing more into social media and spreading their message online. Rahul Gandhi became much more active on Twitter and started trying to influence the online discussions more. And some people say that this helped this party because he performed better in the Gujarat election, which he still lost, but also in the Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh elections, which the Congress won. People think that Congress's higher engagement in social media helped. However, when the 2019 general election happened, Modi still won because, for one reason, as far as social media goes, he still had a much higher following on social media across websites than Rahul Gandhi or any other politician. And so he could not be beat in social media. Now, I want to talk about also not political social media that is not done by the political parties or politicians, but by regular citizens who have political beliefs that they espouse through social media. One, for example, there's Akash Banerjee, Dhruv Rathi, and other social media profiles such as The Wire, News Laundry, and uh, other and Mojo and other social media channels, specifically on YouTube, I'm talking about, that are left wing biased. Now, these were the first YouTube channels in India that were focused on politics. There were many other YouTube channels, but they were not politically focused. They were focused on entertainment, cooking, dance, stuff like that. So, yeah, that changed sometime in the middle of Modi's first term when several BJP supporters started making their own channels, like the Sham Sharma Show and others. Open Letter was another one who is put in his videos politically neutral, but is also, unlike Dhruv Rathi and Akash Banerjee, is properly neutral. Doesn't uh, covertly support the opposition parties. Isn't covertly anti-government. He is actually neutral, but he's also a nationalist. He's always speaking from a position of what is good for the nation. Another channel is String, which is very popular these days and is growing, which is good. It deserves to grow. And so this is the political landscape of Indian social media. It's chaotic, vibrant, democratic, and confusing. But ultimately, I think it is good that social media is giving a platform for people to express their political views, because otherwise it was always controlled by the politicians on top and below them the mainstream media. Now, the average man through social media can give his own opinions and his own news as he sees it. And it's helped give alternative voices to politics. However, there is also a negative side to this, which is why I want to talk about cancel culture. We have seen how online in social media, if anybody says something that is offensive to others, people on in the so online attack that person and try to get that person's account deleted or his video deleted, and often try to make, if he works in some other job, they try to make him either lose that job or suffer some career faults and problems, which I think is really inappropriate. That people should be able to hear each other out and to listen to each other without attacking each other, and that this is causing a lot of divisiveness amongst the people, amongst the country in the country, and is one of the negative effects of social media, because social media is designed to make us not necessarily angry, but give rise to intense feelings, make us hyper, make us aggravated and anxious because of its addictive nature. Now, this how this should be handled. I think that the government has started taking steps with the new social media rules that they made this year and which were implemented in May. I think that these will prevent censorship from happening by the big tech companies and will also prevent people from misusing social media to spread illegal information and information that can cause unrest in the country. So I think there is a good and bad side to social media, just like there is for everything else. And I hope that as a country we can learn to use it in the best way possible. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. Vande Mataram.